did it when Smith was there, and Dave Behan wrote up the checklist.
It's now 6:30. I'd like to call. It's now 6:30. I'd like to call this City Council meeting of June 11th to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilperson Cosner?
Here.
Councilman Nestor?
Present.
Councilperson, or Councilman Bass?
I'm sorry, it was me. The 22nd.
Council
Present.
Councilman Orchikowski?
Here.
Mayor Mosher?
Yes, present.
Mayor, we note 5 present and also note a quorum.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite Nancy Gideon to lead us in prayer.
Father God, what a blessed opportunity just to be able to open this council meeting up in prayer, honoring Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Father, we just ask you to impart the wisdom that's needed here tonight to everyone who is making decisions. Your word says if we lack wisdom, to ask of you, and you don't hold it back, you give it liberally. So, Father, let there be a spirit of unity here tonight. And, Father, have your way. Have your way as you would give the wisdom needed to each and every one making the decisions. And, Father, let there be a spirit of unity. We come against that division, that we would be in unity for the well-being of Monessen and its residents. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'll open the floor to public comment on agenda items only.
Ernest Telegraphus. On page 2, I don't know if you've read the newspaper before a few days. There's $4.5 million deficit in their budget for 2026-27. So I don't know what you're going to expect from the Alert Tax Incentive Program with the city school district coming on board. So you guys make these real fantasy points of what you want to do with Monessen, and nobody knows what the left hand's doing versus the right. Then we have the city Parente Boulevard. What qualifications are you trying to peg in order to get the funds? Do you have like some sort of a format? I mean, I don't know what you're going to achieve, and then how much money, what you're going to aim for, how much that's going to run. We don't got no details. Then we go back to number 4th page, last page. What is going on with the Civic Center? Why do you need all kind of camera security measures? How much money that's going to run? You know, it seems like you guys go down the list. Oh, we need this, we need that, and we got no income coming in to cover these things. Now, you may do it on a come basis. Well, we're going to apply for a grant and stuff like that, but that's not responsible budget leverage. Your ledger doesn't qualified to be a budget. Then you got the Mon Valley Training Club partnership with Evans. And we need a bike repair station down at the boat launch. I don't understand it. You guys want this, you want that, like little kids that want to spend money, and we got no money in this town. And then we got the upcoming park series. And I hope Karen would let us know, do we have all the money to pay for all these groups that are coming in, or is it like we're winging it on each month? So, I don't know how you guys run the city of Monessen, but that's not how you run a budget for your family. So, I hope you guys are able to provide us with details, but you'll probably just smart right over it, make statements that sounds good and no details.
Anybody else? Does anybody have any old business they'd like to bring forth?
No, Mayor.
In which case, I'd like to invite, Mr. Gaskill to come to give us a little bit of a talk. I prepared some questions that, I don't know if you've got something you'd like to say before we get off on this, or?
Sure.
Hello,
Okay.
gentlemen.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty well
Myself,
yourself.
the engineer for Mobile Sewage Authority. Jason.
Yeah, for the people in the crowd and council, my name is Jason McBride. I'm with the engineering firm, helping the Mon Valley Sewage Authority embark on the project that we're about to undertake. I've been working in your community with the authority for 25 years, so very familiar with your, community and trying to help the community address the things that, the Department of Environmental Protection is requiring. The most recent project that they're requesting has actually been going on for about a dozen years or so, starting with some issues up in the Grand Boulevard area with some sewer overflow issues that they wanted to address. Initially, the authority was going to undertake, basically construct a tank to hold the additional flow that's created up in that community. That project was anticipated to cost much more than originally anticipated. So actually, in working with the city and their engineer, identified an alternative project where we're going to construct sewers in the Marion Hilltop area to again decrease combined flows where the stormwater is mixing in with the sanitary, try to decrease the amount of stormwater getting into that piping system, and in turn decreasing the amount of flow that ultimately were to discharge to the Monongahela River. So at this point, projects moving forward, most recent items, the authority was able to secure a $250,000 grant, so that's driving the schedule of the project very much. We've been working in close collaboration with the city to get this project designed. Just frankly, in a couple of months, 5 months here at the beginning of the year, the project is now designed. The authority opened bids on June 8th. Those bids are in hand. We have a lowest responsible bidder, Kukrin Contracting, that we would anticipate awarding that contract to. We've asked them for their bonds and insurances, and the authority would anticipate awarding that contract at their July meeting, their next board meeting. Notice to proceed the next day. The contractor's aware of that. That contractor has to expend, the authority has to expend that $750,000 prior to September 30th in order to secure those monies. So that's what's driving the speed of the project. They'll be up in that neighborhood in July. We'll work in close coordination, communication with the city, telling you where the contract will be working once we get to that point. I can't answer that today. The contractor dictates, their route and where they're going to do work. But we'll certainly get advance notice from them as far as how they intend to attack the work in that neighborhood. I think that's a very quick summary, but happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
We need the resolution tonight, though.
We do. So that's on their agenda. One of the steps in this process is you have to submit what's called an Act 537 plan. In this case, it's a description to DEP describing what the project entails. So the authority adopted that by resolution at their meeting on Monday, and it's on the agenda for the city to pass that this evening. We intend to submit that document to DEP tomorrow. They've already reviewed our permit in advance of having that plan, which is, I'll say, atypical, but we've been working very closely with DEP to get that moving. So the permit is actually reviewed, it's ready to be issued. As soon as they have the plan, they need to review the plan, approve the plan, and then they'll submit the permit. So I'm hoping to have that permit in hand. I mean, it could be, at this point, it's gonna be 30, 45 days. It could be as much as 60 days before we have that. So it's gonna be, the middle of August. Potentially, by the time we have the permit, we can start to order materials. And there is also some work that the city has done previously where you actually line the sewers. You put kind of a sock inside the sewer, inflate it, and it reinstates the integrity of that line. We're gonna try and talk to DEP about starting that work sooner since there's no construction activities, and see if they'd entertain us, doing some of that work before we actually have the permit that would generally be involved with excavation and so forth.
Very good. First off, Sean was kind enough to provide the specifications that were used for purchasing. I was quite impressed. 450 pages, thereabouts.
That's
yeah.
not including the drawing. Do you have those too?
I have those too.
Okay.
They're there.
We may start before, once we get the approval, we can.
We're issuing notice to proceed in July 15th. Notice to proceed will be issued, and then it's a function of getting the permit in hand to start breaking ground.
With your firm, you guys have people down there, hopefully, we'll get before that.
Well, that's right. DEP's already reviewed the permit. They just need the 537 plan, which we'll submit tomorrow. And then they need to review that and, approve that prior to issuing the permit.
What's the total?
Well,
go ahead.
let me kind of
Sure.
control this a little bit.
He's on
He's
the
on the authority.
He's on the authority board, sir.
So, first off, the city's very much appreciative of the work that you guys are doing. It is going to save our citizens a lot of money as opposed to an EQ tank, which the DEP originally sent forth. I guess it really boils down to, is the DEP still remaining totally cooperative, and they're still working with us on all fronts as far as moving forward with this?
They've been.
Do we anticipate any obstacles going forward?
They've been extremely cooperative. We've spent a lot of time talking to them since the beginning of the year, telling them the importance of this project and the importance of getting the grant. I don't think DEP wanted to be involved with stopping a $750,000 grant. So I think they've been very cooperative, very helpful, and doing everything they can, I think, to get the permit issued.
Okay. So, that kind of goes along to the next question I had, which has to do with,
Yeah, it indicates that. September 30th, the money needs to be spent by the contractor, $750,000.
which is, kind of what the next question was, the project milestones involved with this. That's probably the first of probably several milestones that you have, weather being part of it and so forth and so on. What do you anticipate as being some of the milestones of this project?
The contract required, following notice to proceed, which like I said, will be July, when is your board meeting? 13th. So 14th will issue notice to proceed. The contractor has to submit what's called shop drawings, description of the equipment they're going to purchase 7 days after notice to proceed. And then we approve those, and then materials need to be ordered 30 days from notice to proceed. So they'll have materials ordered.
We narrowed them time frames up from what usually is, right?
Yeah, the requirement for the 30 days, that's quick. So they are aware of that. We told the contractors that at the mandatory pre-bid meeting prior to bid opening. So they'll have those materials ordered, and as soon as they arrive, which we've talked to the manufacturers, the pipe and manhole should be in like 2 to 4 weeks. So upon receipt of those materials, we'll be able to pay the contractor for procurement of those materials.
So, I know that Karen and I spent some time going around getting easements and right-of-ways. Just a brief update on how many are we still hanging out on?
Yeah,
Currently, I have 10 executed,
So that leaves about 8 that are out there.
four solid verbals that I think I could rely on, and 4 other ones that are proceeding forward.
Okay. Well, anything we can do to help, we'll be more than happy to try. I know that.
I sent letters out in the mail, I put door knockers on,
Karen, I did much the same. Okay, thank you. So how the bids compared to the engineering estimate?
So answer the gentleman's question, so the low bid was approximately $3.4 million, 3,464, I think to be exact. There were two, opinions of probable construction costs that were provided to the city prior to the project. One was around $3 million and one was $3.8 million. The difference in those two were based on paving costs. The $3.8 million that we derived initially was based on paving costs that frankly we're more accustomed to seeing in the industry, and the $3 million was based on some paving costs that the city had got with some paving projects. So frankly, the bid we received had those paving costs kind of right in the middle of the two. So that's why the bid came in at that $3.4 million number. I think, you never know in these bids where they put their costs as far as in the pipe or in the paving or in the stone. But I think we saw with this, complexity of a project, it's not just purely a paving project, that the prices for paving were a little higher than what you were able to get on just your pure paving projects.
Right.
So it put it in the middle of.
Price of gas and oil doesn't help things at all
Yeah,
right now
for
either.
sure.
That's driving it up high. We talked about the anticipated start and notice to proceed. So once the construction starts mobilizing, do you have any idea of what the sequence of construction will be?
So I alluded to that. As far as dictating specifically where the contractor goes, you don't want to get into dictating what's called means and methods. So the contractor will have the ability to say they want to work on, X street or Y street. They'll tell us, frankly, where they want to work, but they'll be required to give a construction schedule that will identify where they're going to work throughout the project. Once we have that in hand, we'll provide that to the city so you would know and the residents will know where they'll be working.
Okay. Much heads up we can get on that, we do definitely appreciate. It just seems to me that if you start at the bottom, you have something you can get in. It makes no sense to start top where you got no place to go.
Agreed.
So, all I'm saying is, as you get to these roads and you start working on them, we would really appreciate doing the restoration as quickly as possible to get the roads back in service as soon as we possibly can. Now that, as you get higher up the hill, you're gonna have more things coming in. It's gonna be difficult. All I'm saying is, that is a major road within the city of Monessen, and we need to keep it moving as much as we possibly can. We'll work with you best we can, though.
Yeah, they'll.
I'm sure you've thought about this a little bit. How much time is it gonna take to do this project as far as, what is your estimate for time for this project?
The time period allowed in the contract is 12 months.
Okay.
I don't anticipate it taking that whole time period. To address your question about paving, they'll put in the pipe, they'll do stone backfill, they'll do temporary trench repair. They'll come back and pave entirely at the end of the project. They're not gonna pave,
Okay. Well, that's
one
fine.
street at a time. But they do have there's also this lining work I made reference to that is an excavation. There'll be some, traffic impacts and so forth. There'll be trucks up there, they'll be doing that work, but that won't involve, excavation of streets, and that occurs in certain areas of the community as well.
Okay. So, as you get this information, can you continue to provide us with some updates that we can get our citizens, people that live up there, so they're not blindsided? This is summertime. People are planning their vacations. They're doing lots of things. So the more advance warning they have, the better they can plan their vacations to either be in town or not be in town, depending on how it fits.
Yeah, I know, Karen comes to our meetings. We're happy to, she'll get updates monthly at the least. But yeah, we'll have monthly construction meetings with the contractor. We'll have a full-time construction observer on site, working on the authority's behalf. So we'll make sure that we're, getting, a schedule at the beginning saying where they're gonna be, and we'll get monthly updates as far as if something's gonna change, and we'll share that with the city.
regardless of how much updates you provide and so forth, there's always gonna be questions. Is there a point of contact that we can have, that we can give to the citizens of who they can call and ask the questions?
Frankly, that's probably.
Well, it gonna be me.
We'll post your, phone number on the big billboard downtown.
Thank you.
I mean, we'll give you the information for the gentleman that'll be,
Yeah, the
there
construction
representing.
observer will be there to answer any questions.
So they'll probably wanna,
Who's on site.
we'll wanna direct residents to talk to him for the most part versus directly to the contractor so that we can make sure there's not, make sure information's being conveyed, correctly. So we'll make sure you have that person's name and phone number, and, he's been working down here, on the existing, project that the authority's currently constructing in Denora, so he's familiar with the community as well.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of other questions that we could be asking, but one that is also important is, once this project's underway, can we have some sort of a media event where we have ribbon cutting and kick this thing off with shovels in the ground and so forth?
That would be up to the city
Well,
and the authority.
And then we
Well,
Be
it-
up to the council and the authority board.
I think it would be appropriate. Does anybody else have any other questions they'd like to present to?
Yes, Mayor. Once this project's taken place and it's completed, who has ownership of the lines? Just because what I'm worried about is if we have some type of situation like we have on Donner Avenue and you guys are in arbitrary or we're in arbitrary, who's taking ownership of the lines?
The authority will,
Anything
the
that we
authority
install
will.
underground. will
Alright,
be
I'm just a
ownership
little bit
of the
nervous to
authority.
have a situation like we do on Donner at this time, which I'm sure you're probably privy of. Yeah, so, I just don't wanna see that travel, I don't wanna see those type of issues travel north
If
up
we put
here.
it in the ground, the authority belongs, it owns it. The storm sewers up there will still belong to
Okay.
the city.
Alright, thank you.
Anything storm, it will be the city's.
Alright,
Anything sanitary will be the authority's.
thank you.
That
Anybody
was
else?
required by the use of the funds that,
Yes.
for the bond issue, is that the authority construct, maintain that
Those lines.
infrastructure forever, indefinitely.
Questions?
Yes, sir?
The bid you said was 3.4 million,
Correct.
and that's what you awarded it at, right?
Yes, yeah, yes, there were 2 bids received, we had 8 contract holders. We had a mandatory pre-bid meeting, 2 came, we received two bids, they were $110,000 apart,
Okay.
very close.
So, the other question I have is, the mayor touched on a thing about how you're going to track progress and things like that. I'm going to make an assumption that I hope I'm right on. I would guess that as an engineer, you're using project and using a Gantt chart for how your process is going along?
Sorry. The contractor will be required to submit a schedule for their construction. To be honest, some of them just submit Excel bar charts, they don't have to be, we don't require them to be overly sophisticated, it's not.
Well, I'm just saying, on
Scrum
some-
master on site.
Well, yeah, but at least it shows whether you're going to be ahead of progress or you're going behind progress or all that.
Correct. We will require the initial schedule and monthly updates to look at what their progress is.
And those will be transported to City Hall then, I take it?
Yes, we're happy to share any of that type of information.
I mean, they need to be live, not a month or 2 old.
Well, like I said, they'll be submitted each month, we'll require them to be updated each month at our progress meetings.
Okay. When we talk about Marion, what side of Marion are we talking about when you come up the hill? You talking going right or going left at the, where the water tank would be?
Where is it?
He's wondering, if you go up the hill past the fireman's club, and you're going up the hill,
Yeah.
what part of Marion, is it on the left-hand side, like, or is it on the right hand?
Neither. The project don't start till the intersection of Ross River and Grant.
And it goes on both sides of Ross River.
Okay.
I have maps here if anybody like to.
Yes,
look.
Mayor.
Okay. And my last question is it was brought up for notice to residents. Has anybody brought up
Thank
the
you.
idea or thought of having you guys, which would be your project manager of this thing, to go door to door and give some type of printout to people and telling them your street's gonna be closed or ripped up on such and such a date, so they can make sure they're not parked there, or if someone gets their car stuck somewhere, or they hamper the construction anything like that could happen, but a project of this scale, I think you need to go door to door and notify the public
looks like
as sections are being done.
going up.
We had a,
The fireman.
we had a meeting here, about a month ago, I'm sorry?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
that's what it is.
To invite all the people impacted by the project and even more specifically the right-of-ways that we need. So we had a number of residents show up there, made people aware, but yeah, we can, once the contractor's up there and doing work, we can talk about how we wanna educate the residents on impacts to their.
I just wanna make sure that doesn't fall through the cracks, because that's gonna be huge. Especially if it's something, if somebody gets construction equipment around a car and we find out it's an elderly person and they can't get to the doctors, we got a problem. Okay,
This is,
thank you.
this is where like the fireman's is at, and then
Where's-
this takes you to the cemetery.
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you.
Questions?
No, does anybody else have any questions?
Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen.
I definitely appreciate you coming by.
You're welcome.
We'll probably be requesting you come back and give us an update from time to time. We'll depend on Karen to provide her updates from the meeting.
Absolutely.
Look forward to it. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for us to work together. I think that it's very important that the city in fact does. DEP is not forgiving. Thank you.
That's what,
You're
that's
welcome.
what
Thank
we're
you.
having, what's that?
That's what, it would be up here.
Yeah,
It would be
they're
the next
working
street.
on it. They're not
So I don't
working
know why it has Marion Avenue on it.
I don't understand it. Not yet,
Yeah,
not yet.
it won't be signed till.
Welcome back.
All right.
I don't see Marion's on it, so I don't know why they have the Marion Avenue name.
That's just the name of
Project.
Thank you.
the sewer shed.
That's
Oh.
the shed that
Kinda
is
like the
involved.
boundaries of.
That's what you, cause that's the road you travel a lot.
Well, the thing that I don't understand is, if it's on Marion, what side would it be on, the
Anybody
side
else
of
wanna-
the
It's just the name,
paving?
it's just the name that
It's-
the sewer
it's
shed.
yeah, it actually starts below that.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Would you
rip
like
up
to
the
look at
road
the
that
map?
just passed.
Yeah, could I see it?
Yeah.
Sorry, reaching in front of you.
Okay, well, let's continue on. Just a couple of things I'd like to make everybody aware of real fast. We got a service agreement from Comcast, and this is at a request of, our accounts payable in order to combine the bills. And what it basically led to was Comcast has, offered a reduction in the price, new equipment, and better speed, only at the cost of a longer term agreement with them. It's a 38-month agreement, we have to stick with Comcast. But, unless somebody's got another solution, that's probably the best thing. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, that's the first time we're hearing about this.
Well, this is a discussion, so it'll be on the motion will be,
Well, we don't wanna motion that fast.
I'm not making a motion, I'm just asking if there's any questions on it.
Do you have literature?
No.
Then I ain't gonna answer nothing.
You
until
have
we
the
see literature.
I have the proposal of the contract, yes, and I'll circulate that to everybody.
Yeah.
Captain Kara of the Salvation Army has sent us a letter I've got the letter here if anybody would like to see it. She's basically requesting the use of the walking path park from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on August the 1st. She's gonna hold a cornhole tournament there, there'll be free hot dog buffet, and it's really based on they're trying to come up with a fundraiser for the Salvation Army. We'll have that as a motion come 25th as well. Our music in the park, the first one's gonna be on June the 27th, just keep everybody on the loop. That's featuring Billy Price and Broom. July the 11th will be the Good Karma, with the fireworks happening on July the 25th at the boat launch. Praise in the Park will be on August 22nd, and Sky Pilot will be on September the 12th. Now, Karen and I have sent letters, we've gone door to door, we're looking for people to help, donate money to this. We've got a lot of money in there, but we could always use some more, so, just,
That's for you guys.
Thank you.
there's a map that you can see. Thank you. Another thing that we did is, this, really the last couple of days, is I made a change in the way that the meeting minutes are created. There's still a few hiccups that we're working on, but it's coming together pretty good. The meeting minutes will be much more in line with traditional meeting minutes that have been done by previous administrations and other municipalities. On September the 12th, we'd like to have a Victory March for Jesus. We'll start at the 721 Schoonmaker and be followed by a community dinner. It's just, we've done this the last 2 years. It's been very successful. We'd like to continue doing it another time. Microsoft, more specifically, PA Connect has sent me an email that says our annual agreement for Microsoft products needs to be renewed. And what that means is they sent me a list of all the licenses that we have within the city. I need to go through and make sure that all of them are still in use, make sure that we don't need any more. They're pretty touchy Microsoft's pretty touchy about those licenses. Anyway, I will circulate the information to everybody once I get a list together that has exactly what we've got going on in it. I've been working with PA Connect on finding a problem with the internet at the police station. It turned out that after the storm, their internet speed went very much downhill. I went over there today. I think we finally got our hands on it, corrected the problem, and got it going again. It had to do with the router that they provide for the phone system. Westmoreland County Planning and Development has reached out to us to determine if we want to participate in the county CDBG and the county HUD issues. We have our own CDBG program, but I'm waiting from the Westmoreland County Housing Authority to determine if they're getting anything by us being part of the HUD program. In other words, we've never seen any benefit of the HUD program.
Yeah, 'cause if I remember, if you touch their CDBG, it negates you from doing the state CDBG.
Right. Yeah. So we want to keep our own CDBG, but I think 3 years ago, we accepted the CDBG, but we would do the CDBG ourselves, but we accepted joining them with the HUD program. The problem with the HUD program is I've seen no benefit to the city for this HUD program at all, being part of their organization. The only thing that makes sense to me is if the benefit we're getting is through Westmoreland County Housing Authority, with them being there. So I'm checking on that before I do anything. But I do need to get back with them like post haste tomorrow. So I'm expecting a phone call from Mike at WCHA to determine what we do with that. Another thing that's always bothered me here is we don't have a good, easy way of referencing material, whether it's current material or past material, finding out when something happened or what we did for a particular thing. When I was in private business, we had a wiki that was available within the company only for doing those kinds of things. I've been looking at several possibilities for a wiki that we could use within the city. It's very minimal cost, and when I say minimal cost, I'm talking $5 or $6 a month to do these things. So it's not significant burden on the city, but yet it provides a way to get information to everybody very well. That's all the things that I really wanted to talk about in my section. So with that said, I'm going to ask you, Karen, if you'd go through my motions, please. My one motion.
Motion for passage of Act 537 Sewage Facilities Resolution for Marion Avenue Hilltop Area Sewer Separation Project.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner?
Yes.
Councilman Nestor?
Aye.
Councilman Bass?
Yes.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes. That's right there, we'll sign it. Get this out today. Would like to have a little bit of a discussion, and I wanna leave this a little bit to our solicitor, but I know that our city solicitation ordinance is very dated. It doesn't provide much.
Yeah, other than the permit application, it doesn't really provide any, mechanisms for enforcement. This came up with a conversation between I and the chief of police. Looking at it, and the police department's the one that kinda manages this, lets the residents know who's soliciting in town. So after a conversation, we think there just needs to be some more procedural aspects in there, you know, should there ever be a bad actor, revoking those permits and having grounds to do so, so on and so forth. And this is the typical time of year that these issues pop up in front of municipalities when people are selling solar panels and roofs and everything along those lines.
Can we add anything too for signage? As I was driving around today in Monessen, we have more signs now popping up on telephone poles.
I think you have an ordinance for those.
If you go on Third Street Extension, they're everywhere.
I think you have an ordinance that prevents those from being on telephone poles.
I just wasn't sure how strong they were to be enforced.
We need to,
We'll look at it.
I think West Penn also has an issue about that because you have to get a permit from them to be able to put it on their telephone pole.
Probably. We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, if you can.
we need to figure out
see
what the
about signs.
enforcement of that is too.
They're blossoming more than traffic cones at this moment,
Yeah.
my point of view.
Spring.
The, next thing I wanna talk a little bit about is the alerted tax incentive program. This is, something that we have to have a public hearing before we do anything else. I would like to suggest that we schedule that sometime during one of our next meetings we have in July.
It's similar to your CDBG hearings where you get public input. The purpose of this public hearing is to define the LERTA area, which is discussed in the past, it's the entirety of the city. It's subject to public notice once a week for 2 consecutive weeks. You can do it at 6 o'clock, you can do it at 6:30 as part of your agenda meeting, whatever council chooses.
Is it okay to have a quorum there for the meeting?
Yes.
How much advance warning, notice do we have to give in the newspaper?
Once a week for 2 consecutive weeks, the second ad has to be no less than 7 days from the public
So
hearing.
if we wanna do this during our work session, next time we need to make sure that we start moving on it no later than our next council meeting.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Want to talk a little bit about the refuge billing software that we're using. The bills that we do for that and also for the unmetered sewer systems that we have. This is something that is costing the city, I think the number is $1,100 a month right now. Whereby this 3D company will do it for something in the neighborhood of about $150 a month. Significant changes. That will be on the agenda too. We're still trying to get all the service agreements in concurrence with our standards and so forth.
You wanna talk about that a little bit more, or what?
Sure, if you'd like to.
I'm unprepared, hold on. Hold on, you can babble for a second, I gotta figure something out. Okay, that's that. We pay multi-link, I have the check, we pay $1,084.57.
Times
month.
12 months.
$90.38 a month.
No, that bill you got is a month.
That's what I just said. I said we pay them $1,084.57
A month.
a month.
Yeah, multiply by 12.
Multiply by 12 for how much we
So
pay
we
in a
pay
year.
that much a month.
Yes.
Okay. That makes a hell of a difference.
Yes, it does.
Okay, and this proposal is for $1750.
That, the $1,500 is for the setup fee. After that, it's $150 a month.
No, they
No.
quoted a yearly price.
No, this is a yearly price for $1750.
Okay.
No, it is not. It's more than that. There's a one-time payment payment for $2450, and then there's a new 3D billing annual subscription. So there's gonna be a $1,700 annual subscription. So if I'm reading this correctly, we're paying $2450 from September till December, and then there's a $750 increase, which includes 2027 increases
Okay.
going off this sheet. So my question is, are we paying less? And if we're paying a little bit less, or even if we're paying the same, what are we getting to cause this change?
First off, we're gonna be paying substantially less. Figure out your annual cost between the two.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out with this bill. The annual subscription costs,
For multi-link would be $1,098 times 12,
and these are $1,750,
annual cost.
an annual cost, correct?
So for the cost of 1 month, of the multi-link, we get a different package that's modern, it's easier to use.
Again, I wanna see some hard evidence of why.
First off, we've got, I think the number was 6 people using the online system at a cost of $1,098 a month. How is that useful?
Well, we can't dictate who uses it and who doesn't use it.
But we
just are
can-
out to
we can-
provide the service.
Right.
That's our job as government. We provide a service. If you choose not to use it, oh well, we can't force you to use it.
The thing that we don't need to do is to overly expend money on something that's not used.
Well, this should be, if we're looking to do something like this, even like the same thing as multi-link, this should be rolled into the monthly charge of what the bills are that go out. In other words, the $1750 would get rolled into, well, how many thousand users do we have? 6,000?
3,000.
3,000. This is like, what I'm looking at this as, this is like an administrative cost. And there's 3,700 accounts.
At a cost of around $1,700, so less than 50 cents a person.
I mean, some of this stuff, I'm looking at this for the first time, the garbage collection fee for their proposed configure rates and bill engine, configure bill layout for printing, configure payments. We do all that internally already. Amy does all of that.
And she would still do it,
That's to put it all into their
to put it into
computer
the system.
So we're going to pay somebody something to do something that we already do, so it goes into their system and make a payment for it. That
No,
helps.
it's using their system though.
It's
is
using
what-
their system to generate the
Yeah.
bills based upon.
And she feels it's a much better, I'm sorry, much
Go ahead.
better system to utilize.
To me, that makes me get an analogy of buying QuickBooks, and QuickBooks charges you to put your data into QuickBooks to get it to work. I guess my questions I have are gonna have to, I'd like to talk to Amy about this. Because I don't think council, and I don't speak for council, just myself, but I would think that you need to have some information on all this and be able to discuss it and see what the actual breakdown or what the concerns are, or where the bottlenecks are, and where we're changing all this stuff. Has any of that been provided yet?
I know that Amy spent a lot of time looking at that, those very things, and so has Jerry Saxon. He's been involved with looking at it as well. The the numbers that they told me were something like on the order of, it saved the city some $13,000 a year or something like that. It was crazy.
And that's greatly appreciated, but I wanna see that.
Well-
I don't wanna make a decision based on just a piece of paper that says, here's our cost, and that's it. We do that too many times and don't find that information out, and what usually ends up happening in the city of Monessen is you save money up front, and we get burned in the very back end somewhere.
Or we lose opportunities, one or the other. I have no issue with that. Feel free to talk to Amy, feel free to talk to Jerry.
Well, I'd like to, I'd ask them if you don't have a problem, like, to put something together as a proposal that this is the way it is, not just this proposal, but something that's they're gonna work with this, what's it gonna benefit them and all that, because it's not, I'm not the one that's making the sole decision on this, council needs to make it, which means they need to present it to council as something they wanna do to change.
Okay,
Makes sense.
no problem. The next thing is, discussion on the, if you're ready to go on.
Yeah, I'm done with that, thank you, Mayor.
This, City of Monessen Multimodal Transportation Grant Fund from the CFA to redo Parente Boulevard. I think when we get going on this project, we need to make sure that we don't have any co-pays or anything else that goes along with it, and it needs to be part of the motion that we do when we finally make.
Can we talk about that?
Absolutely.
Or you're not done?
No, I mean, look, read the bottom of that right there. This is an opportunity to pave, redo Parente at no cost to the city, no cost. And that's what we're shooting for.
But the initial bid was based on RVI, is it RVI? RVE?
RV,
RVE, of a $3 million grant and a match of $900,000.
there's no match ever mentioned on this, no match ever stated. Now, we have a limited opportunity. If we're gonna do it this year, we can do this without the match. After the end of this year, that goes away. So,
Well,
this is our last chance to get it done if we wanna get it done.
again,
My question, is this gonna change the whole dynamics of the sewage system that's been placed down there in Parente?
Should not.
Like of all the lines that we just recently put in, drainage, cause you're talking about turning Parente from a 4-lane to a 2-lane and then putting a bike trail.
Yeah, it's still gonna maintain all the access to the right-of-ways that they have for the sewage. It shouldn't affect that at all.
Now, has anybody spoken to the street crew and the parks crew, seeing how they are planning to maintain now all that green space?
Well, they maintain green space already. They could maintain the green
That's a
space
lot,
on both
that's,
sides.
I get that, but that's a lot of real estate now.
so that, as John says, my question to that is, I think I'd like to see it revised, because I'm looking at, there was a breakdown, wasn't there, for the whole thing? 'Cause I've seen it on my phone and I can't seem to find it now. There's things on there I wanted to, and you got to it faster than I expected. If you could bear with me, let me find it.
Also,
The
Linda's
budget breakdown, Councilman?
Yeah, there was a
Sure.
budget breakdown, but not, there was a bigger one, if you're giving me
Hold
the
on.
same one, Mike, as this
This
is.
is the
No,
filing.
there's a bigger one.
Okay.
But I got one in my email that broke everything down from signage to walkways,
yeah.
paint to everything.
Thank you. I think this is,
Karen, did you find it?
Yeah.
here you go.
Thank you. Okay,
Also,
thank
we
you.
need to take
Thank
Linda's
you.
name off this.
I'm trying every day to get as many things done.
Oh, yeah, Linda's name's on-
Internal
she's also-
process.
She's also on Mon Valley Independent for paying the bill. But anyways, my question is on this draft for the Permette Road to Trails conversion. There were some things that I really, like John brought up, I really got a question, like, I know you wanna plant trees down there and have the long road, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years when those trees are full sizes, we're gonna have a mess. And like John said, the street guys don't have time to do what they're doing now. My biggest complaint is cutting grass in this town. We're gonna give them more grass to cut in the town, and what are they gonna do? They're gonna run the tractor or something over grass that's going to throw it on the side because they're not gonna bag it. So it goes all on the street, which means if it rains, it could cause an accident, or we're just potentially doing things that we don't need to do.
Or the bike trail.
And who needs I mean, that's a lot of money for a bike trail, and how are you gonna really make sure, and these are just questions I have, how are you gonna isolate that from everybody else? Are you better off if you wanna do a project like this in the center, don't put trees, don't put bike trails, don't do anything, just have a mount that goes straight all the way down with river rock. And that's it, because when they plow that in the winter, where do you think that snow's gonna go? It's gotta go somewhere. They don't have that issue right now. These are things that I think are gonna monumentally, if you wanna do this, okay, but there's a lot of things in here, I think, like, come on, $400,000 for benches? Come on.
It becomes a place that there'll be a park area up at the top that you can sit and.
You wanna
enjoy.
sit when there's traffic flying by you like that? I don't. I'm just asking the questions, or is trash receptacles. That just is gonna give a haven for people to throw garbage. And more places for someone else that has to pick it up. Guardrails,
Can I ask a question?
always.
Is the fact that you're looking for a bike trail or a bike lane, is that part of the requirements for this grant?
I believe it is, that they actually have, call it a multimodal for that reason.
Multimodal requirements.
Okay.
Yep.
Understand.
I think if you're gonna do a pay for free, then who cares about a bike lane? If you're gonna do it for free, put in a bike lane and put in the benches, maybe they wanna take a break.
But there's costs on this breakdown that are expensive as hell.
But they're part of the grant.
If you can get all this, and the city doesn't have to put anything into it, great.
I think that's what we need to make the motion as such when this goes to a motion. That this be, we either get the thing with no match at all, or we walk away from it.
My next question is though, or just a statement, is how you're gonna be able to convince the citizens of Monessen that it's good for them and why their street's not done. I know that this is a grant from a different, project, but you're gonna have a lot of people saying, well, you know, Perenni's done, why isn't Leeds done? You know, this is gonna be more
So
of like, how are we gonna convince?
So we don't do anything because we can't do it all at once? That makes no sense at all.
I get that, Mayor, but you're gonna have to really sell this to the public, because you're gonna have a lot of people that even I spoke to about this from last year, were not thrilled about this. We're not thrilled about this. They said there's more streets that are worse than on Perenni. 'Cause Perenni.
The thing is, this program will only work on Perenni.
Oh,
That's
no,
the
and I
first thing.
completely, we spoke about this before, but this is how you're gonna convince the citizens.
Well, we
that
need
this is a
to
good
stand
idea.
as a council and understand what the
You're gonna have
impact
to-
of this is going to be.
You're gonna have to really sell it to them,
But
'cause they're
we
gonna see this project, and a lot of them, and I hate to say this, have pure ignorance, and they're not gonna listen to what you're saying. They're gonna be like, why is my street not done?
What did you just say?
You know,
Come on.
people, we represent.
Call the city of Monessen, the residents ignorant?
He
I
didn't
said-
mean anything like that. Come on, Linda, please.
That's not what I heard.
Well, continue, John, Tony.
I'm not saying, I don't wanna be a no-sayer to something like this, but I think it really needs to be thought out, and I don't want this to be one of these things that we end up ramming down the road and doing, and then it causes us headaches and headaches later. And I am against anything in this town that doesn't help the citizens immediately impact, that's gonna make a difference. And, you know, John brings up a point, and my question would be, is he's talked to people, I know Karen said she's talked to people. One thing I wanna make clear, and I'm only speaking for myself, this council got elected to make decisions on the parts of the citizens, but we listen to them and answer to them. It's not what this council wants to do. What we wanna do is only 6 people up here, and that's it. That means nothing out of the 7,000 that live in this town.
That is still not true.
Why?
I've been asking to pave Knox and 10th Street for probably 5 years.
Well, there's a perfect
That's
example.
one street.
Well, that's a perfect
There's
example.
more people that go up and down Perenni, now be serious about this, than to go up to 10th Street and Knox.
So,
and it's gonna be free, and you're gonna argue about what goes on there?
I'm not arguing, I'm asking, the public's the one that should make the decision on this, what people want it.
The public doesn't make a decision on anything in Monessen.
They can.
No, they don't, before it goes on deaf ears.
I don't think.
It's not that I've not been coming down here for the past 15 years. And I know what I hear and I know what I see. So if the city can get Meridian done for free, you should let it happen. But you're only one vote.
That's all I am. But I'm gonna bring out the questions and concerns I might have that other people may
Well, why
have.
aren't you concerned about everything?
Okay, let's bring this to a head real quick and stop this. I would like to ask the newspaper to maybe put together some sort of article that talks about the benefits plus and minus of what that might be and see what kind of response we get.
Well, in that case, they should do every street.
Well, every street,
You paved Evergreen, Evergreen doesn't even belong to the city, but you paved it.
we didn't pave it.
Or isn't it it's on the list to be paved?
No, it's not.
When did it get off the list?
Never been on the list to be paved.
It was on,
It-
do I have
we-
to go back through and
What,
edit to see it,
what,
not put it on here?
what we did on Evergreen was we went up there with the asphalt zipper. We churned the road 4 or 5 inches deep. Churned it up real good, then we brought in a high 11-ton vibrating roller and rolled it all out. What you have now is a very hard-packed road, but it's not new pavement. It's like a very good alley. It's not a paved road.
Better than it was before.
It's much better than it was.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So if you're gonna put Meridian in the paper, then you need to put every street in Monessen that everybody lives on to make them have an opinion
Well,
of
but
what should be done.
if we have funding for it, I have no objection to that whatsoever. Right now, we have,
We don't have funding for all that, we just
Mayor?
have funding for Meridian.
that's right,
Mayor.
that's right.
Can we continue?
Yeah, let's continue on. I'm just going to,
Yeah, so that was a ridiculous idea.
okay, fine. The only last thing I have for discussion is the city police have asked for a car show to be held at the boat launch on September the 5th. I think that'd be a great thing to do and have no objections to that whatsoever. Anybody have any comments about that?
No, Mayor.
In which case, let's turn it over to Tony and let's pay some bills.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the grant fund in the amount of $17,000. Wait a minute, no, I got an issue.
Was it different?
I have an issue. Yeah, I got an issue.
It's not matching up, is it?
No, it doesn't match up. So, I need to know why the list for the general fund here isn't including a check that's in the packet here.
What check is that?
For an allowance. It's right here.
We've
It's
got,
not on the general fund, so the two numbers, when you add these up, do not match.
then, let's modify the number that you're paying.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what would the total be then? 17,200?
No, let's not guess. So the bigger question is why isn't it on there? So it would be, if I'm correct, make a motion to pay from the general fund $17,077, $777.33.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Make a motion to pay the following invoices from the rec account in an amount of $741.12.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the line usage fund in the amount of $624.50.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the parks fund in the amount of $6,877.24.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the grant fund in the amount of $372.70.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoices from the refuge fund in the amount of $57,243.66.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to pay the following invoice from the liquid fuels amount, in the amount of $23,641.85.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to approve the payment of transfer of $80,281.77 from the general fund to the payroll account for payroll expenses for June 4th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to approve the transfer of $5,000 from the general fund to the healthcare account.
Second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
Motion to approve sewer rehabilitation project phase 3 payment requisition and certificate number 44 in the amount of $23,958.98 for phase 3 work performed by WC Engineers from May 2nd, 2026 through May 29th, 2026 in the amount of $23,958.98.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilperson Cosner,
Yes.
Councilman Nestor,
Aye.
Councilman Bass,
Yes.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor motion.
Yes.
I do have a question on that.
Okay.
And my question is, this packet that I just had to sign off on, as you are going to do, and Joey did for this project, for the $23,958.88, where's the check?
It has to be submitted first to USDA and then
Yeah.
they will approve us writing the check.
They send us.
Like we do with the others.
It works the same way as before. We still wait for them to send us
It-
money.
That packet though, and you'll see my note on there, invoice, what's that say on the, is it invoice 36, Tony?
Yeah,
That-
something like that.
Up top there, that yellow piece of paper.
Need to include invoice number
Should be 36.
36 in
It's-
subject package.
It's in the email from WEC, it just was not in that packet.
Okay, well, in the total packet that we send to Carly, the letter indicates that, I think, Joe.
It's in the email from WEC that they sent earlier this week.
Right.
For some reason, it's not
Just missed that page.
in that packet there.
Which means it's not gonna get signed for a week or two.
Well,
No, it's just the backup invoice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it exists,
Here's-
I looked at it before, it's just not in that
Here, Joe.
packet. I don't want you to send it to the USDA without it.
Okay.
Let me sign it too. Okay. Bishop Bass, would you like to,
I'm
here's your
not-
question.
Mayor, excuse me, I'm not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem, okay. I can't do a report on totals because nobody left me totals. Mike, do you know anything about that?
That you don't have, he sent totals today, I believe, were updated.
4:30 doesn't help me sending totals at that time. I don't, they usually get left, they've been leaving them on the table here for each department.
I can check, yeah. I thought that they were sent to you so you could have them for the meeting.
Yeah, they were supposed to send them, and he did it around 4 or something like that, but he's also supposed to, would have a printout here of each department, of how much money was left in each one. And that brings me to another question, cause when I looked at them, my question is, one of the accounts shows for the TAN note, and it shows a balance of $305,000. I made a motion last meeting to transfer that money and pay the bank for that loan. Has it been done?
The transfer's been done.
Yeah.
Then how come there's a balance of $305,000 showing in QuickBooks?
Obviously, he needs to get caught up.
I'm just asking.
I don't have answers.
Can someone follow up and
Will
find out what's
tomorrow.
going tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely, in the morning.
I'm done then, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Bishop.
Sorry, Bishop.
Okay, I wanna say that, I'll make a full report at our next meeting,
Okay.
all right? But I also wanna say about the second item there, I made a report at the last meeting, so I'm not gonna repeat all that. But we did walk through the Civic Center, and a couple things caught my eye. The fact that the cameras weren't working, and that Ms. Carson was down there by herself. That seems to be a real security hazard. And she said to me, when I asked her some questions, that the camera that's on the front door, or the exit, I should say, or entrance, it only picks up the person after they're inside, or almost inside. And so that was a concern. If that camera's there, then it maybe just should be someone that should re-aim it, so that there'll be a earlier view before the person actually gets inside the Civic Center. Then the other concern I had, which we're discussing here, is there was a door that was marked exit, but there was a chain on the door. And so in a smoke and filled environment, somebody might get confused and think that's exit and try to go out a door that's chained. And the other security maker, there was another, it's not on here, but also that underneath the benches of the bleachers, there was dirt, and that probably needs to be cleaned. So that's my comment on that. Security's always been an issue with me, and so when I was talking to her, the camera that the city had looking at her, apparently that wasn't functioning. So I know money's always an issue. I'm really cognizant of that, but I'm hoping that we can get those items fixed so she will have some kind of security in the event something unfortunate happens.
Yeah, let me make a comment about that.
Okay.
First off, we have cameras there. The problem is they're not showing up here.
Mhm.
I've sent 2 emails to PA Connect requesting that they address this problem.
Okay.
They've yet to do a thing about it. I don't understand what the problem is. They should be reporting to the city and do things the way that we ask them. They've not even responded to my emails. I'm just totally blown away by that.
Okay.
You want me to call him?
You're more than welcome to. You've been copied on the emails. You know what I've been telling them.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
I'll call.
Thank you.
Call tomorrow morning. On what the Reverend said about the Civic Center, I had 2 things that might answer his question, or I have a question. And it would be more towards Karen than it would be, because it's her department, not that. And that is, you were talking about back doors or something. What did we spend a couple $100 on having the locksmith come again for the umpteenth time to have the locks changed? Why did we do that?
Maybe Mike could answer that, 'cause I don't really know. And that sounds like a poor answer, but I wondered that myself. I know we've had that front door locked
Was that
fixed.
at the request of Linda or what?
Yes. We had an instance where one of those back doors was left open, and she felt unsecured, so we did change the key mechanism for the front door. But we need to look at a better mechanism for that front door.
But we've
And we've
Ta-
talked, but it was cost. It was cost related, and we didn't do it. So
Actually-
we kept the key system. But we changed the front door key just for her protection. She was, and she mentioned it to Bishop Bass, and.
So the lock had actually failed?
No, the back door had failed. We've had instances, and we can talk about the history of the center, where folks, from time to time, leave that building, if they leave unsecured, and then that's a problem.
But if the back door was the problem, why did we change the front door key? We've changed it at least 7 times to my
I think
knowledge.
our chief has
Seven,
something to add to this.
It's not 7, but
Oh, yeah, we can show, there's probably more than 7 times we
No.
keyed that place.
In regards to, my thought on the civic center, it's been a problem ever since I've been working here for 20 years. It's all about keys, it's everything, along those lines. I just wanna put my 2 cents in. If we get like a locking mechanism, like we recently got at the police department, where I have a fob, little fobs that you come in. Example, our cleaning lady only has access on Wednesdays and Thursdays between the hours of 9 AM and noon. Any other time, it won't swipe her in. I could also remotely lock the door, and I could also remotely unlock that through the program. If you go in there and hand out, and also say you give a fob to someone, they're not compliant, or they're not following the rules, or what have you, shut down the fob. It eliminates always calling like a locksmith in, have a master lock and only have it for the city officials or whoever's there. But if you're renting it out, say you have, basketball that comes down there, and you have the coaches, here's a coach, you have access on Wednesdays and Thursdays at this time, after that, there you go, and you can remotely lock it. It's just that, again, it's money, but I think my system was $2,000, but but we needed we had the same keypad since,
The building
So-
was
The
built.
building was
whenever
built.
Amanda was a rookie.
Yeah.
That brings up.
Almost,
So
yeah.
that brings
From
up
that
the
building
question,
being built.
Yeah.
at least for me, that we've talked about many times before, and I know this conversation came up when Karen asked it, way when she came on council. Why couldn't we just go over to Lowe's and spend $200 or $300 and get one of the keypads that you assemble yourself? You could change the code, you could log into it, you can give a temporary code to people to allow them to get in, like access for basketball or whatever. Whoever unlocks it, and be done with it. There's millions of homes that do all that stuff all the time, and what I don't like about a key fob, cause we have them for work, they're easy to forget and lose.
So easy to-
And it's very expensive to redo the system once you've lost that key fob.
Ours is real simple.
Disable that key fob and give them another one.
Yeah,
Well, that's one thing we don't do, is 10 key fobs all over the
Well,
place,
then
oh, I
you
found it.
You could shut down because
There's numbers
it's
on
real
it.
easy to program. I have cards and I have the little fobs. You put it on the reader, it reads it, you assign it, there you go. And then whoever I give it to, I give one to the mayor, I give one to
I lose
whoever.
it, you just disable it?
You disable it, if you buy, like you go even Amazon and buy the little fobs yourself. We're not getting like real fancy things like with your picture on it and like a swiper type thing. It's just a simple, look it around, I don't know where my keys are at. They're probably in the back there. But it's a little blue fob. It's real simple for us, and it's, I can monitor whenever people come in, I can monitor, all that stuff. So, it's just it's just like that.
Can they add it to your system,
I could do, I don't know if it can.
or would it have to be a separate
I think
system?
it has to be a separate,
they were
'cause
saying,
it's,
yeah.
Separate location. I could ask Kevin if it could be done that way, but.
I'm not sure you'd want it because
Right.
if you lose it or you wanna change it, it
Yeah.
becomes an issue.
Well, it just is more burden on me to find out who's doing this and who's adding more stuff. It might be more of a keep it in-house at the Civic Center for, it's the same system that actually, Canonsburg's, police.
I think it would be worthwhile to get Kevin to come and give us an estimate. The difference being is this is a double door, where yours is a single door.
Yeah.
Yours already had the magnetic latch on it, this does not, so.
Well, he had to replace it because we have it going to our side door and we have it going to the evidence room.
Mhm.
So it tracks the
They work.
inventory for, who comes in and who leaves on the evidence room, which no one has access right now, except for myself. So,
I'd be interested in seeing what it'd cost to do that,
Yeah.
Civic Center.
or you might be able to find another system like that, but it's,
I know that you go down to Lowe's and buy one, that's what we got on this door over here. It's not the kind of thing you can set,
yeah,
change
that's
and,
not real,
Days and time.
yeah,
that system right there is real easy to break,
probably.
so, but that's just my 2 cents.
Mr. Mayor, I wanna
Thank
say
you,
something
Chief.
else on that too. I know that's, not my area, that Civic Center, and I was there with Karen, otherwise I probably would not have been there. And of course, security was one of my areas as well as safety. But I do need to say that I'm still a little bit troubled if people are using the Civic Center and they're coming in there and there's nobody supervising this. That seems to be problematic to me.
Did we not hire 2 people to be there?
We did.
Mhm.
So if this other individual's always there, but the other person isn't, where's the other person?
They alternate times because there's more hours than part-time would allow for them to be there all the time. So they alternate back and forth,
Is that happening though?
yes.
Mhm.
Is that happening?
Absolutely.
Karen, do you know?
I don't know. I think I had made that point a few years ago, because I never worked where somebody was in a building by themselves and there was
Right.
no employee
Right.
there, whether it was the school or the library. But if you're telling me that someone is always there
I'm not saying somebody's always there, there's
for the
more.
event,
For events,
For
or for
events.
the folks that rent, yes.
Well, that
Oh.
also brings up another little quirk I have, and that is, what's going on at the Civic Center? Is it being rented out or anything?
Sure. Yes.
It
We
is?
can show you the book and what's been rented, I can get you that.
Well, the reason I'm asking that question is, according to a report that I did get that's on my phone, that I don't have a paper, is what's in CFS Bank for the recreational board fund is $500, and there hasn't been a deposit for over 2.5 months.
I can check with Amy in the morning, but she's been renting and depositing, so.
I mean, the rec board fund is so far underwater, it's pathetic.
I'll check and get you a report tomorrow in the morning.
I don't have anything else, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, John, you got anything for us?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of council, administrative staff, citizens of Monessen. I will go ahead and defer my report until our next meeting. I did have some questions though. What are we seeing on the lights in the city of Monessen? Have they been out and actually been replacing any of the light bulbs that we sent out? I know you've touched the liaison there,
Yeah,
but we're having still complaints of burnt light bulbs.
they are,
The
the
boat
number's
launches-
shrinking.
The boat launches still have not been touched. City Park and that road next to City Park has not been touched. And then I was told too that on our side of the Charleroi Monessen Bridge, our lights are on 24/7 on that side of town.
Well, first off, the lights up around the boat launch on Schoonmaker, all the way between Parente and Tyrol, they're all out, every one of them.
Well, I know those are all out because due to a car accident
Right.
many years ago.
And they shut off the power to all those.
Yeah, but the boat launch was separate. The
Yeah.
boat launch was working, and then no one's been down there to touch those lights at all.
We've been getting emails.
The boat launch, Karen could attest to this. We went down to, the boat launch the one day, and during the day, all the lights were on.
Okay. So
For the day.
All the lights were on.
Yeah, and then that's where we have a problem, so that's, so the lights are not on at night, and then for some reason, all the lights are on our side of the bridge, at the Monessen Bridge.
That's fixable by a sensor. That happened many years ago, and we found out that there's a timer on the Charleroi side that controls all that.
And then we got lights still burnt out on Rush Graver, going towards the divide off from downtown. So, I just wasn't sure if the gentleman, the liaison, I forget his name, that's from West Penn Power, has he been keeping up with everybody and letting them know what's been
he's
replaced?
been sending updates periodically about what he's done. I will send you a copy of what he sent us the last time.
Because I'm looking at the bills that we haven't paid yet, and I don't feel comfortable paying them until these lights are replaced. Yeah, Randy, Durr.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so another thing is, what are we gonna be doing for our second code officer? Lloyd is drowning. I know Mike's been drowning too, trying to assist. Are we able to get a part-time person and use the backfilling money that we haven't been able to pay Marvin, since Marvin's no longer with us?
You tell me.
I think we should. Well, we had resumes, we interviewed people, but from what we offered them, which was not gonna work out, or cut the snuff for anyone that wanted to work for the city of Monessen on that dime. So my question is, are we able to use any money that we saved, only having one code officer, to get a second one?
It's a budgeted amount we're not using right now.
Because I need a second guy. I mean, I've been hounding down here because we had people opening up the streets without 811, and people putting up sheds and other sorts without having proper permits. And it's hard for us to regulate those or check the safety of those measures with just one person that's part-time. So, I mean, are we able to use any money from, like I said, that we have from Marvin, and try to update this pay scale, I should say, from what we're offering from a new candidate?
Well, there's an easy way to figure that out. And that is, I believe, I requested from the city clerk to be able to send out a monthly allocation of what the budget was for your department, what was spent for the month, and how much year-to-date are you over or under.
I haven't, excuse me, I'm sorry, I haven't received anything from, was it Tyler?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't received anything from him telling me what I have in what's allocated still up to this point.
No, there should be a monthly allocation, spreadsheet that comes out and gives you a list of everything in your department. And from there, you can see what the budget amount is in one column. The second column would be like April, May, or June, and then it'll tell you how much over or under you are year to date. So you can make those kind of decisions and say, look,
Well, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't
everybody's,
received it.
Mike, can you follow what's going on then? That's supposed to go to everybody.
This hasn't been implemented.
Well, it has
It was
been,
it was implemented 2 years ago.
It absolutely has.
2 years ago, it was implemented.
Yeah, it's been implemented. Maybe the distribution is not right. I know that we sent one to,
But wait a minute, it was as simple as, you get this,
I disagree with your premise there that it was implemented, and it was not.
yeah.
If we have a policy, we'll follow it, so tell us what the policy is.
I dictated that policy to all
Where?
of you a couple months ago during an email. I'm
I saw
sorry.
no email to that effect.
Sure you did.
No, I did not.
Then you're not reading your emails.
I
Perhaps-
disagree with that.
Well, I don't think you are.
If you show me that.
If you want me to show you, I'll show you, and you're not gonna like it, because it's gonna be cleared so it goes to everybody. Because I get the master one that goes to everybody's department, comes to
Let's see
me.
it, because if I saw it, I would have implemented it.
You have to sign off on it.
No
The mayor
idea.
signs off on it, you sign off administrative costs. The chief gets one, that he has to sign off on to make sure he knows what's going on.
Are you getting this sheet? Are you getting?
I generated them this last time because nobody knew how to generate them, and I got Linda to come in and show me. I generate them, but I don't know how they, well, I don't know the distribution
I
of them.
apologize, let's go forward. Can I just get some information on what I have in my department, what I can spend?
You can have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cause I need a code officer and I need one ASAP, and offering $14 an hour is not gonna cut it.
That's the premise there, Councilman.
Do we have any idea what it is gonna take to hire a decent code
About
officer?
$26, 24.
Will that do it?
It sure won't hurt right now. If he needs a code officer's gonna generate income into the city anyway, so yes.
Yeah, but you know, I was asking that question, I'm signing off on requisitions, but I don't know if there's enough money there or what, you know, so I would like, that would be helpful to me.
Karen, didn't wanna put you on the spot. Did you ever get a report?
The mayor sent me some numbers last week
Mhm.
about the budgeted amount, but it was just for parks wages, a budgeted amount, and, how much had been spent so far, and that was whether it was over or under budget, and then it was for the rec account.
Yeah.
He sent that as well, and it was over the amount it should have been, but that's the only thing I saw, but there's more in the parks budget other than just wages.
Yes.
And I still don't know how when the budget is put together, who allocates for, I would like to know how much really was spent on new equipment or, supplies to maintain that equipment or repairs.
We have that. And it's supposed to be sent out every month at the end of the month, and then, like I said, you get the report, you acknowledge you got the report, and you need to actually sign off on the report that you actually did it.
If I had this implementation information, we would have done this. I have never seen this. And I said that to you in an email, directly.
And we've done it because I got reports back from Linda sending when she was here.
Linda may have done some things with you, but I was not involved in that part of it.
Well,
And
there was
I need
nothing-
to know that to implement a program. If you tell me what we need to do, I will do it, but I've never seen a
But there was nothing for you to implement. I implemented it to make sure everybody knew what was going on. It came from me doing it. And I worked with the city clerk to make sure everybody has that information. There's no policy, there's no.
But there should be there has to be a policy.
No, there does not.
Yes, there does.
That's where you need to understand there isn't.
Alright,
We'll take care of it.
Continue
so
on.
can we just maybe for the next agenda, if we can just put a motion, I guess, to re-advertise, I'm
We
assuming
can-
for
I'll work with
code,
you, John,
and then
on
I
that to
think,
do,
thank
yeah.
you, Mike,
Yes.
and I guess on the point of paying 24, 26?
Well, remember in the meeting we had with the one gentleman, he
Yeah.
indicated a number that he thought would
Well, a lot
attract
of them
someone that
attract
would
someone
help.
else, yeah.
Yes. I will work with you, yeah.
Mike, I hate to bother you, I see how busy you are, I really do, and that would be helpful. I mean, I don't wanna pressure you and make you think you just gotta do it, but
No, I think we need to do that.
yeah,
one.
that would
Yeah,
be
thank you,
helpful
Mike,
if we
for
could
everything.
do what he was saying.
And on the other part, if we're doing that, and there's that, we'll make sure that that does get out, based budget versus performance.
Well, Terry knows how to generate it now, nobody knew how to generate it
Okay.
Yeah,
until.
that's what I completely understand.
Yeah,
Right.
so.
And that's why Linda came in.
That's
to
why
show.
Linda came in,
Yeah.
we created some documentation on it, he now knows how to do that.
Okay, so my
Linda was
next
who's
question
in
is, if
place
we're,
before him.
let's say we do implement the two code officers, would they be working around the same time? Because we have one vehicle. So, Tony, would you be okay if we used another vehicle that the police chief was mentioning that was about to get rid of?
Well, my
And
question,
then just, like you were saying, slap a magnet on it or something like that, so we have two officers at the same time driving around and not buddy-buddy system.
are you talking about your Mitsubishi?
No, the old 7-4, the white car. The
Okay.
white car's going out of there, that's 2015.
Cause my only problem is I had in the past was just Lloyd and Marvin were always in the car together, cause there was only one vehicle. I feel we have two vehicles and they're both working at the same time, they go out and hit the city.
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense to hire people if you don't have the tools to keep them.
Yeah, so we could just shave off, I mean, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I don't wanna see that vehicle disappear. We could use that for something. Sorry,
No, no,
Karen,
I
you were
agree.
saying something.
No, I'm just, no, thank you.
Alright, no one else has anything on my side of the neighborhood, I yield the floor.
Okay,
Thank you.
Karen?
All right, I'd like to defer my main report till the end of the month. But I recently met Travis Turner, and he's involved with the Mon Valley Trainers Club. And I had talked to Tony Evans a while ago when I happened to be there, and if you know where Tony has his office, his building, in front of it, there is a little bicycle repair station. The people who ride bicycles can stop and fix their bicycle if they need it. And I met Travis on Tuesday. We went down to the boat launch, and his organization is willing to place and I think I sent everybody that information, that email that I had gotten from Travis, because I knew nothing about this organization. To me, that looks like a workout club and everything, but it turns out it's not. But he really impressed me because he said that having this organization, with the publicity that they do and the community spirit, will bring a lot of additional people into Monessen while they're here, and I learned you're a part of it, John.
Yeah, it is a workout. I just haven't been doing it lately.
And the people, if they come to Monessen, I really think they're gonna use our restaurants, maybe they'll go to the library, maybe they'll stop at the Historical Society to see me. But I think it's a great opportunity to do this, and they are gonna pay for it, if I understand you
Thank you.
correctly. If you have any questions, Travis will answer them about their commitment to this
They have
project.
been bringing new faces downtown.
Yeah, that's what he
I
said.
see new faces downtown.
Yeah, they're called Pokemon trainers, and they're gym, so trainer, it does sound like a fitness thing.
You do a lot of walking though, so.
I do, but I'm very much into fitness myself,
Yeah, I
so
know.
you don't have to look like this to play Pokemon Go.
No, trust me.
Do you have questions for him about what the responsibility of the city would be, or his
Yeah,
organization?
I actually sent an email and you were
Yeah,
quite good
yes,
at
he was.
responding to it. I was very
I tried.
impressed.
I spend years as a geologist answering emails to company minutes. Did anybody have any other questions? It's,
Did you
fully
see
funded.
that?
What,
So first off,
like-
why don't you read the
Oh,
questions
yeah,
and the
I've seen
responses? Oh, you saw
I've seen the emails,
Okay.
yeah, but, no, Travis is amazing. I mean, I wish I was that quick to reply back, but.
Yes, I type much faster than I write, but if you have any questions I don't have an answer for, I think I answered most of your questions.
You did a great job.
If you have any additional questions, I'm here to answer them. If you have any questions I don't have an answer for, I'm prepared to write them down.
I thank you for taking the time to invest in this.
Oh, no, I love community. I want to see more reasons for us to come together, and like I said, we're a little community where we use gaming as a vehicle to get kids and adults outside. We fund these physical amenities because they act as anchors for our digital events. They draw families from across the valleys of Monessen over to Pittsburgh to play with us. We've had multiple people who, instead of attending Shadows events, they don't want to go through the tunnels. They come out here and $10. And it's been great getting to meet the locals and people from all over the valley, to be honest.
Thank you.
Aspect of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then, well, since we have Travis here too, Chief, I'm gonna pick on you for a second. How are we doing with the dogs?
Oh, I was just gonna bring that up, that's on my,
Officer Schrader hasn't had a chance to get out there. He's been just working with one other person.
Okay.
So on a day that she has, we're gifted with, an extra person on, she's gonna go out and do her, inspection of the place.
well, I
Okay.
think, actually,
'Cause we had some photos.
that
yeah.
brings up another topic I wanted to bring up again, and I've brought this up before months and months ago, and I thought maybe I'd gotten the message apart. We have doggy waste stations in every one of the parks. However, this worked out so well. When I was talking to Travis, some guy actually pulled up in his car, let his dog out,
And right there.
right there in front of me. Now, I don't think that was very wise of him, because today everybody has cell phones. So if you're out there and you're walking your dog, my advice, if you don't know this,
It was almost a guarantee that was gonna happen at this point.
I've had dogs, and when I walk my dogs, I carried 3 bags with me, because my dog would always, and I think that's being a good neighbor, and, I don't know if we still have problems with the dogs in the baseball fields, but in every park, if you're walking you might step in something, and I'd just really like the people in Monessen, if you are the ones doing this, to really stop it, because we want people to come to Monessen, but if they look around and they see, number one, there's loose dogs, and I'm the first person, if I see your dog, I will get down and I will pet your dog because I like them. But maybe everyone doesn't, and I know some people, I have a friend, she's really afraid of dogs, so when if a stray dog approaches her, she backs up. And we don't wanna make anybody think, come to Monessen, there's dogs roaming the street, cute or not, big or little, just they should be on a leash. We do have a leash law, and I would like to see more people, and I told Travis to email me the photos, and I'll pass them on to the people who can do something about it.
Yes,
So
Councilwoman Cosner brings up a great point, like, I won't pet your dog because I have an allergy, so like my intimidation is based on like not wanting to deal with rashes. But everybody thinks their dog's their friend, honestly. But as I tried to explain to Karen, we're choosing Monessen Central to the Valley for our organization, and you haven't heard us because we've only been around 9 months.
Well.
So, we've only had the 2 major events, this will be our first actual Go Fest. And as I tried to share, Karen, your park is perfect, and the town is just central. The park lays out on a nice grid that I won't try to explain to you guys, but.
Please don't.
Yeah.
It was over my head, but it was very interesting, and I'm really grateful that you would consider doing this for Monessen. I wish more
Well, we
people
consider
would.
this a pilot program. We'd like to sponsor we plan to sponsor up to 5 of these throughout the city if this goes well.
Let's see how it works out.
Thank you.
I'm interested myself.
Is that all the questions? Nobody has any questions?
No,
That's it.
it's a
Thank
great
you for
idea.
coming.
Everybody has my email, if you
Yep.
do think of anything and you wanna follow
You're not
up.
gonna have any complaints from us, so thank you.
Okay, as soon as we get the green light,
Okay.
you know what's going on.
Thank you. I think the mayor pretty much discussed, music in the parks. I have flyers here, if you'd like to take flyers and post them around town, we'd love to have that happen. I think do I need to make a motion to pay the invoices for Billy Price at $3,000 and Big Shoe, who's the sound engineer, for $1,500? We have the money, it's in the parks account.
That's
There's a department for.
part of the donation.
Donation.
Yeah.
Was it part of the bill pay list?
It's part of the unpaid list.
Yes, it was.
But was it part of Tony's bills?
No, parks.
No.
So we'll have to wait till next meeting.
No, I mean, you can pay the bill, I was just
Oh.
wondering, I don't want you to,
What's that?
the music in the park invoices, there's a motion on Karen's portion of the meeting. Were those in your bill pay list?
Yes, I signed them, and John both signed them.
Were they on your list of bills out of the parks
Yes.
fund or the donation fund?
No, they were out of the parks fund.
Oh, so then it's already.
Nobody moved them to the separate donation fund where we had.
They're in the parks fund.
That's where they.
Well, we had money, we were putting all that money in one specific place, so it didn't get intermingled. But
Right.
yes,
So to
it got
answer your
paid.
question, you voted on it to pay
Yeah.
already.
You're absolutely correct, it's paid.
Okay?
Perfect.
Do I need a
Yeah,
second?
here, yeah. Big Shoe and Billy Price. Yep,
There you go.
okay, thank you.
So I don't have to make a motion?
No.
Nope.
Already done then, okay. Well, we have a reminder for people, the farmer's market drive-through is Monday, June 15th, from 1:30 to 4:30 at Wendell Ramey parking lot at the end of town. And I also have some other dates before I get into this, so just people to be aware that's upcoming. And I wanted to mention the library board has printed restaurant bookmarks. They're $20, and you can go throughout Monessen, and each restaurant agreed to do it, that you get a certain discount on their menu items. So if you want to patronize the library, you can get these down there. On Saturday, June 20th, there's a Juneteenth celebration from 9 to 9 at Madison Park, and there's also a cornhole tournament at 1 o'clock at the boat launch. On Wednesday, June 24th, is Monessen's Night Out from 5 to 8 at the high school, and of course the Billy Price concert. So,
I think there's wrestling at the Civic Center Friday.
on which
Saturday?
This Saturday at 6 p.m.
6 p.m. That same
Faith-
event like there was
Faith and,
before,
yeah.
except I think this time they're charging.
Yeah,
you
$20.
for-
Yes.
How much is it?
Yeah. Okay, and.
$20.
And
It was pretty decent last night, I liked it. My kids had fun.
And I know this has been brought up before too, is the of the repair of the air conditioning units on the annex side of the library. This has been they have not worked in years, and it gets so hot in the summertime, you really, it takes your breath away to be upstairs. And I know that Glenn Godla has been there, I don't know how many times, to try to fix them, and he can fix them one day, and 2 days later, something clicks in the unit and it's broken again. And I don't know where we wanna go with this. I know that, Mike had written an LSA grant, and, I think in the grant, it was the air conditioning units on the main part of the library that was in the grant, but did you tell me you think that?
We talked about it with the folks in Harrisburg, and they said if it's within the library structure, they think we can utilize that $77,000 for that part too. And Glenn thought also that we could not do one of the ones in the regular library and do the annex. There's just a way we can put it together. But he's trying to limp us through until we get to that point, and it's difficult.
It is difficult, and I noticed today was a very hot day,
Yeah.
and I wasn't down there, but is there a way, are we gonna be able to keep just putting a Band-Aid on it until we get this money?
That's what he feels that we can do.
That there's not an alternative?
Well, there was one alternative, to go to Carrier, who are the folks who are in charge of the units, or manufacture
Right.
the units, and get a price on more than the Band-Aid type, and we can do that if council would like to okay that, to interject with them and.
I think we're gonna have to kinda look that way because it's an asset to the city,
It
it's part of our
is.
property.
Oh, yeah, but,
It's part of our property.
Get prices,
been
let's see
there.
if we can figure out a way.
okay.
And it's hard to go upstairs, take
Well,
the kids
I'll
up
tell
there, it
Glenn
gets
that
hot.
then.
And it's more than just something that we want, it's a need. If we
It's a
want
need,
people to
right,
use
yeah.
that library, it has to be repaired. And then the final one, and I brought this up before, is repair of the women's restroom door at Columbus Park. It's my understanding this has been, you can't close the door and lock it in the restroom door. And I only have one, estimate of a bill, and I think it was for about $4,200, $3,400,
Right.
$3,400. But my question is, Parks does have a budget. Do I have any discretion at all, and we usually focus on anything related to grass cutting or taking care of the roads in the winter, but this town needs more than just that. I believe in trying to maintain our assets, because it seems like everything we own has an issue. And this, in the scheme of things, isn't that much money, and people really like to come to our parks. They play baseball up at Columbus Park, and it is actually a safety issue to have a door that is not locked,
Yes.
I believe. So I'm just wondering, do I need 3 estimates? 3 estimates.
That's
Okay.
all, the 3 estimates, put a PO in, and do it that way.
Okay, now I need help with even knowing who to call. I've asked who has done work before in the city that does a good job. If they give me that name and a number, I will call them and I will ask them to go up and look at that. And I was told by this company, even if I were to place my order today, it's still gonna be weeks before the parts come in and the door comes in to fix it. And we're looking at the end of summer. It's just like kicking the ball down the road a few more months.
I would think, again, I don't wanna use them for everything, but, Lowe's sells steel doors and frames,
Okay.
and they get a contractor that if you need, they get a reputable contractor to install it for an additional fee. It's no different.
Okay, 'cause I don't know, I like to go local, and I like to know that we've had work done by a company and we've been pleased with their work. And I've just been waiting for that third, person to call. So you suggest I call Lowe's, I'll do it tomorrow.
Just go up.
I'm not gonna lie to you, personally, I went to Lowe's to get a door.
What's that?
I went to Lowe's to get a door.
You could use them as one of the quotes.
Well, yeah, I
Uh-huh.
would use it as a quote, I wouldn't go with this.
Okay, all right, well that's, I think that's all I have, which is plenty, so thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything you wanna discuss?
No, that's it,
Somebody like
Mayor.
to make a motion to adjourn then?
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The meeting is adjourned at
What's it like?
8:13.
Reminds me where it was an arrow, the cutout was but, just because whoever made that hole in the wall, it hides it for a regular door, but this contractor is.
Hey, John.